Everyone, and welcome to Real Estate Right Now, where we talk about real estate matters that matters to you. We are live here from Lindencraft Team Studios here in Raleigh, North Carolina, part of the Research Triangle Park. And today we're going to talk about, well, landscaping.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, we're moving, as Wes Johnson from Yardology has told me, senior advisor for Yardology has told me, he said, spring has sprung. And so we have some different challenges than we have had during the transition from winter to spring.
Yes.
So now we're going from spring to summer, and we got some different challenges. Wes, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. It's been what, maybe 4 months?
4 months.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to bring you back every season.
Okay.
Just to prepare.
That's good.
I think
For the
you
next
guys see us
season.
on the
Thank you
next
very
season.
much.
Yeah, to do this because you were a very popular show, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were an
Okay.
extremely popular show. You're one of the most popular shows we've ever done.
Okay. Well, hey, that's because of you.
No. It's you got the face for it, man. That's
Okay.
what I do. So okay, so we spring has sprung, as you said,
Right.
and so we're moving into summer, and I know that people are interested in how we maybe take care of our grasses and what kind of grasses are we looking at dealing with. But also, people want to know: is it too late for me to plant some, flowers or other things?
Right.
Let's talk one thing at a time. Where do you want to start there?
Let's start with the date. The day is June the 1st.
Yes.
And officially, it's spring. I mean, June 21st is summer. This past weekend was probably the coldest or the most mild Memorial Day I have ever had in my life. And that's been a while. So, I mean, 70. We have warm season grass that hasn't really greened up this year.
Okay.
That tells you how cool it has been.
Right.
So yeah, we definitely have time. We just planted summer flowers this past weekend. I mean, it was it's been a cool spring.
Yeah.
So with that, yeah.
Is everything on the table pretty much when it's a cool spring like that?
Well, everything's on the table except you can still, like in the next 2 weeks, if you got to transplant something, do it now. If you're going to buy, if you don't have irrigation, you need to plant the shrubs now. Perennials, of course, that's fine anytime. And then back to those grasses. This is something I wanted to talk about. So start number one, if you got a warm season grass, it's a time to do your second, if not your first. Don't wait any later to do your first, but you can do your first pre-emergent herbicide and weed and feed.
Whoa. So we could still do pre-emergence right now?
If you have warm season grass.
Okay. Wait, what kind of grasses are warm season?
Warm season grass is Bermuda, which, some of the hot ones on the market now, Tifway, Tif Tough, that sort of thing. Zoysia, which is, there's a slew of different varieties of that. Zenron, Emerald, different types of Zoysia. There's one more, and it's eluding my mind, but we'll come back to that.
But you could put down pre-emergence right now.
Absolutely. This is the time.
It's not too late.
No.
I thought we need to put pre-emergence on in the spring.
You're right. If you have fescue lawn, you want to start in late February, early March.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it's been so cool, we can do our second, which we've held off too because of the cool weather. You can do your second pre-emergent herbicide on the fescue right now.
Okay.
However, you got to be really, you can't use what you use in the spring. You can't use a high nitrogen pre-emergent. If you do, you're going to create the fungus in the lawn like brown patch, rust ring. All these are caused by too much nitrogen. The soil can't absorb it. We have humidity, but this year, you shouldn't have a whole lot of that. However, when you do that second pre-emergent, if you're a DIY person, that is, you do it yourself.
Yeah.
you want to go high on the pre-emergent herbicide, low on your fertilization.
Okay.
And what we do to compensate
So we're reducing the nitrogen, right? Fertilizer part of it, but we're increasing the weed.
Yes, correct.
Kill. Okay.
Now the opposite is true on the warm season. We want our nitrogen to be high, maybe a 24 00 or 411 with pendimethalin or whatever type of chemical you're using for your pre-emergent.
So that's the summer grasses, though. We want to go high nitrogen,
lower
weed kill,
lower weed kill, and then on the pre-emergent, on the cool season grass, which would be the fescue.
We're going the opposite way.
We're going to go low on the nitrogen, high on the chemical to help.
Okay.
To eliminate crabgrass, that sort of thing.
Yeah, crabgrass, because
crabgrass is a big one.
Oh, it's a problem.
Yeah,
it is a nasty weed.
It is, and something that goes with it that most people don't. They say crabgrass, but it's Dallas grass,
right?
Hard fescue.
Right.
Hard fescue looks like it's just a clump. Like if you got a nice fescue lawn and you got this clump, that stuff's in the seed. Technically, it's still fescue.
Right.
It's a noxious, undesirable fescue.
But so is it like a rogue seed that comes when they're seeding?
Well, it would be in something, and I don't want to get a call from Kentucky 31 or any reason, but they have a little bit in there. But some of your higher hybrid turf type fescues, like Rebel, Transition Blend. Transition Blend is a product from the original, and the seal maker is Lesco, but it's sold through Site One, some of your commercial, and I think they do sell some of it at Lowe's and Home Depot.
Right. Can we talk about watering this time of year?
Yes.
We've had a lot of rain.
Yes.
And so I know that we don't really have to deal with it right now, but we can go through a stretch.
We're getting ready to do it,
where we're going to have to talk about watering.
Okay.
And so let's maybe start with grass, and then let's move to watering plants.
Okay.
Because watering grass can be a challenge, because some people may not have a system, or they have to use a sprinkler through a hose or something like that. There's been different thoughts on watering. Do you water during the day? Do you water at night? What is the philosophy on when you should water?
Well, you want to water at the lowest evaporation rate, and obviously that is in the early morning,
Okay.
like 4 or 5, not extremely early morning, like 1 or 2. And the reason is, which if we're not experiencing that now, that'll be next month. If we have a 95 or close to 100-degree day,
Right.
And we water our lawn at 1 or 2 in the morning, that's high humidity. It's still warm. There's enough time between that and when the sun can burn that water off the leaf of the grass that we can really germinate fungus. It can grow that fast.
Really?
That fast.
So between that little bit of time.
Now, on the other side of that, if you have a warm season grass, which is like you said, the Bermuda or Zoysia, it doesn't matter. You could do it. You still have an evaporation rate.
Right.
If it's a warm night, say at 80-degree at midnight. I've actually been in Vegas where it was 100 degrees at 1 in the morning.
Right.
But here it doesn't matter so much with the because it's so dense of grass that it's not an issue for Bermuda. But people who love their fescue, you got to learn that it is finicky. You got to respect it, or it's going to have the fungus, and then you're chasing your tail. Then
once the fungus starts, it's hard.
Once the fungus starts, and you got to do a fungicide, and you got to do a follow-up fungicide, and
Right.
And then the chemicals are
Right.
just, it's expensive.
It gets pricey.
Pricey.
So why because I see this happen sometimes in
Okay.
watering during the day. Why are they watering during the day?
I really don't know. I mean,
Because you said you wanted a lower evaporation rate,
right.
and in the heat of the day, in the spot of the day, that's the highest evaporation day.
Right. You could literally on a warm summer day, and if somebody's watering during the day, you can actually watch the water evaporate. It kind of
Right.
crinkles the air. But yeah, I don't know why. I guess
Because you've seen it too, right?
yeah, ignorance is bliss. I mean, I want to see my water
Right.
go, where
Right.
you are. But it's kind of like, believe it or not, I'm gonna give you a little tidbit. If you're putting gas in your car,
Mm-hmm.
it's true. It's the same as that. You want to put fuel in your gas tank in the morning, you get more per gallon in the morning than you get in the late afternoon
Because it's so hot.
So what
And
your
gas and gasoline,
fumes?
the fumes evaporate so fast.
Yes. Yeah.
Makes so much sense.
But it fools the tank. I mean, your car. I mean, some of that's going in your tank.
Right.
But it's all gas, but it's not liquid.
Right. It's yeah. Right. It's right. Oh wow, that's really cool. So here's the other question I'm wondering. People ask,
Right.
how long?
That's good. Most people think they water and they don't even water.
Well, that's the question, right?
Right. It would be better for you to water less days. Like when I plant, I tell people every 3 days. But
so not every day.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
This is for plants, not grass.
Well, no, we're talking grass.
Okay, we're talking grass. Well, you can water every day then. But
But how long?
I gotta tell you, it's tough. From not this June 1st, but from June 1st to about August the 18th, we are subtropical climate. In other words, we're as hot here as it is on the equator. I mean, the same here as Venezuela.
I don't know if it's that hot.
Right. Well, I mean, I've been in Venezuela.
Okay, Venezuela.
Venezuela. Yeah, I've had iguanas in my window. It's like, holy crap. But there's something else in Venezuela. In South Florida, you think you have a bug problem here.
We don't have a bug problem.
No,
not comparison.
It's like, really?
So what is the length of time?
Okay, so
with grass,
if it's every day,
yeah.
If it's every day, and this is going to be a little technical, and you have an irrigation system, if you have a rotor head that's in full sun, 15, 20 minutes, a rotor zone. If you have a spray zone, every day now, 7 to 10.
Okay.
If you have part sun, 15 minutes on your rotors, so 20, and 7 minutes on your sprays.
Okay.
If you have shade, that's why you want a good clock where you can set it.
Right.
Maybe 2 or 3 minutes a day.
Really?
Seriously. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So
maybe 5. Okay.
All right. Okay. But sometimes I see, sprinklers come on, say at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And oftentimes they don't pay attention to the shade, and they're watering the same amount of time. So they're running 15 to 20 minutes.
They are.
So we're overwatering in the shade.
We're overwatering.
And the danger of that is what?
Well, the danger of that is when you overwater, your roots don't reach, they don't extend, so you have a less of a root system. So when it does get hot,
right,
or disease is around,
right,
it's more susceptible. Just like humans, we're more susceptible to disease if we're not well rooted in. We got to be healthy, not just your head, but your heart, your gut,
right.
the whole thing.
I thought you were going to say that it's like humans. If we get really, really wet, we're
well, no, I mean, but you know what I mean.
Right.
You can't have too much of anything.
Right. I got you. Okay. So, and then we have these different zones depending on how much sunlight we have, how much shade we have. And then and if we're doing it every day, we're talking different times.
I'm going to go back to that.
Okay.
Like if you're in Cary, you can't water, but 3 days a week.
Right. And that was my question. This is where I'm going with this.
So what I've done there, and it's only, like I said, from really in the next 2 weeks here, from June 15th to August 18th, we're gonna double down. In other words, if it was normally a 20-minute on the sprays, we may go 30 to 40
on the watering
per zone, per area.
Because we're only doing it 3 days a week.
We're only doing it 3 days
so
a week.
So we got to soak it. So we got to really double down on this.
Right. We got to soak it. The other thing to do is if you have the water and if you have an irrigation system, which Yardology can install for you.
Yeah.
And we're here to save you water. People go out and say, well, I'm going to put the hose out, and they do it in the middle of the day so they can monitor it.
Right.
And then they get doing something, and it's not very efficient at all.
Right.
The efficiency, being responsible with your water is important. But back to that is we could do a 5 or 10 minute water in the morning, and then in the you're 30-minute in the morning, so not the evaporation rate, and then do a 5 or 10 minute in the afternoon, late afternoon, just to cool it down.
As it's cooling down, right?
Yeah,
so
but not too late, because we want it to evaporate off the leaf.
We're just trying to cool the grass down.
Just trying to cool it down.
Got it.
And that's it. Then the next day you do nothing.
Right.
But it's really what we're really trying to do is maximize, get it really wet, soak it in, and then because we're going to be off a day, and then after that third day we're going to be off 2 days.
Right.
And that's when you want to do stuff on the weekend. Water it good on Friday. Take Saturday and Sunday off. Enjoy yourself.
Okay. All right. So while we're in grass.
Yep.
I want to talk about this because we have a lot of new home builds.
Yes.
And they start putting sod in the summer.
Right.
Right. I mean, we can't avoid it. They're just going to put sod in.
Right.
Now, this is probably not the time to lay sod, but they're going to do it anyway.
We do it. We do it every day.
I know you guys do.
We do about 2 million square feet of sod a year.
Right. Okay. So
maybe more.
Maybe more.
That was a couple years ago.
Okay. So we're laying sod in the summer, right? Is there soil preparations? Because people are buying houses and they're just being told, yeah, we'll lay the sod in. Is there something they should know about preparation of soil, how sod's laid?
Yes.
Especially at this time of year.
Well, the majority of what we lay is Bermuda warm season grass.
Okay.
And of course, we have, and it's the most resilient grass, but we actually set up temporary irrigation on that lawn until it's bought or sold. Once that happens, we're done. It's just Mr. Homeowner, this is what you got.
Your sprinkler system needs kicking.
So I'm gonna do a 2 minute what you do.
Okay.
First of all, we get the temporary irrigation out until you can get permanent irrigation in. And we want to do a battery operated timer, so we're not out there moving it around, which is about you can get one for under $100, 3 or 4 hoses, a couple tripods, and you keep that. With Bermuda, the first 14 days is what's the most important. Once you get that first 14 days, then you can go to once every 4 days. But after 4 days, you got to do that hardcore watering like you had we talked about, where it's, if you're doing it, if you don't have an irrigation system, literally an hour for whatever area you're covering at that time. And you don't want to stand there holding a hose for an hour.
Right.
You're going to have to get some of these sprinklers.
Right.
And then at that point, if you want it to be nice and green and maximize that, you want to get that irrigation system, and you want to get a good chemical application going for the lawn and the fertilization to work in conjunction with the watering.
What about soil preparation though for sod? Is there some pre-prep that we need to do?
Well, here's the thing with with warm season grass, which is the Bermuda. That's what people love it. It's the least amount of upkeep. I mean, as far as chemicals and and it's more acidic. In other words, our ground is naturally acidic here. It's not that much topsoil, especially for the commercial home builders.
Right.
They strip the topsoil because you don't want organics in that soil or it won't compact. Your house is on a compaction, so they don't want organics under it.
Okay.
It'll sink, or you have sinkholes. You want a compactable soil. Well, compactable soil is not topsoil. And the most
there's a lot of clay in that.
A lot of clay. We have an extremely clay, especially people who move here from up north. They're like, this is the worst soil I ever seen. I'm like, welcome to the South, brother. I mean, I could make some jokes on that, but I won't do it. I am from the South, so
no.
Yes. But I married, my wife's from Brooklyn, New York, and I have had more work relationships in my career from New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut.
And they come down here and then they see the soil
and they go, what?
Right.
No wonder we won the war. You guys were malnutrition. I'm like, we can grow some good tobacco, which is exactly what I'm saying. Bermuda grass grows well in acidic soil, and that's what's prevalent.
And that's what we have here. So it's not like we should be bringing in topsoils in here before we lay down the sod.
If you're doing fescue, you might consider that.
Yes, as Mike did.
And then there's a lot of treatments out there. Enzymes, which is big. They're using it in China, Vietnam, some of those areas where the soil is it's just all it can grow is weeds. But they're, instead of bringing topsoil in, which is impossible, they do the enzymes.
Okay, real quickly, we're down to our last couple minutes.
Okay, sure.
We're a couple minutes here. A lot of over-the-counter products that people can purchase from their local hardware store or big box hardware store that make some claims that they can grow grass on concrete, or that there's these little spot fillers, those type of things. Your experience tells you this is a good thing, or
just remember, sometimes we're trying to fix a problem, which is really lipstick on a pig. You just gotta, you just have to say, you know what, I got to go deep, more than lipstick. So you just got to come, what do you want?
Okay.
And so
if I got a spot in the yard,
the patch is the way to go.
Patch is the way to go.
Yeah.
But if I got a big area.
Well, here's the thing. If I haven't been willing to do the nutrient process 3 or 4 times a year, which we're going to do, we said it quick, which is fertilization, weed control, herbicide treatment for crabgrass and that sort of thing. And then if it's fescue, lime, because we're going to get rid of that acidity, which the Bermuda likes, but the fescue does not. But as far as patching goes, if there's been a car is, say your lawn looks good.
A pet pees on the lawn.
Right. So what now?
The pet.
That's fine.
Right.
You could. That's a repair. The car spins his wheels in the lawn. That's a repair.
Right.
The fact that it's died of hunger or malnutrition, that's not a repair.
That's not a repair.
All I'm saying.
Okay.
That's the best way to put that.
That's the best way to put that. Right. So because some of these things, they have there's like a seed, but then some of them come in like what looks like chopped up cardboard.
Right. Well, now we use the chopped up cardboard on our the hydro seeders. That's hydro mulch. That's, you made me think of that. It's made of a paper product, and it works really well, and it's pretty instant if somebody wants to use it. However, we're 6 weeks out of the year that I don't recommend it, and we're getting ready to
hit that time. Got it.
So really don't want to do hydro seeding from July, 4th of July to the middle of August.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? We've done it for 30 minutes. It always goes fast with you, man.
Fast, man.
Man, I've really enjoyed this with you. I always do.
Well, hey,
we're gonna have to bring you back every season. You know that, right? We're gonna have to bring you back
because when we come
summer
back,
to fall.
Yeah, when we come back to fall is actually, this is the time we have the least amount to talk about. Spring, we had a lot to talk about. We have even more to talk about coming into fall with planting, doing the pre-emergent to keep the winter weeds, which is the sedges, poana, all these weeds that look like grass, but they're not. They're weeds. So we're going to talk about that when I come back.
He's already preparing us for the future show. You're already prepared for the future.
But I got to do one thing that I said to my team that I was going to do.
Okay.
Please call us, Yardology.
Okay.
And we're on the internet, but Wes at yardology.com, and I will be glad to help you any way that I can.
Is there a phone number they can reach you?
Yes. 919-909-0322.
919-909.
0322. Next time I'll bring a 3x5.
Just be a 3x5 card. Here it is.
Right.
Man, thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
It's so much fun when you're here on the show.
Hey, man,
whoever knew that talking about grass and seeds could be so much fun.
Well, it's who I'm talking about it with. Some people, though, it's very important that you break down everything that we talked about, because it's easy to spend money and not get the results.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to call a professional. Let us do the hard work for you. I will be glad to tell you what you can do that you don't have to pay me to do, that you can save you money. But there's some things we just do better.
Right.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? That's the show, right? It was fun, wasn't it? Wes was great. Listen, you know what? You had a ton of choices. You chose us. Thank you so much. As I say to you all over the world, ciao, everybody.